Hello, and I welcome you back. Now, over here, we're going to look at arrays in programming. So, if we say arrays, they are collection of data of a fixed size and a specific data type. So, you can see that so far, what we have been doing, we have been creating variables, and these variables are simply holding values. Okay, but you can have a situation whereby maybe you want to store collection of items like a list of students in a class, a list of cars, list of something, list of anything called list or anything list. We use the arrays to do that. You can see the array like a basket that can store more than an item. Okay, a basket storing fruit, a basket storing maybe books. It can be anything. So that is about the array data type we have in programming. And they are saying that with the array, they have a fixed size and a specific data type. A specific data type. So let's go to the code editor to look at, arrays. Now, this is how arrays are created. First of all, you ask yourself, what are the elements that I'm coming to store in this array? Like I said, it's for storing collections. So what are the collection of items you are going to store? Maybe you are storing, car names. So car names, list of cars, and a listing of cars is simply their names. Okay. So to store car names, you ask yourself, which particular data type can store a car name or the name of a car? The name of a car, we can simply use the series of characters that is string, right? So since the name of car will be string, you start by putting string there. And then moving from there, like the approach for creating data types, we go on to the, how do you call it? We go on to the identifier. That is simply the name we want to give to the array. Now for this particular one, I want to call it car list. We just finished doing naming convention. So you can see this is car is one word. Car is one word. And then the list is also another word. But variable names are not accepted. They are not allowed to have a space in them. In case you didn't watch the previous lecture, you can consider going by so you have a deeper understanding of what we are doing. So car list shouldn't be written together. So to join, shouldn't be written separately. So to join them together, we use naming convention. So the L is uppercase, simply coming from camel case. Okay. Now after you have the data type and then the identifier or the variable name, then you declare the size, okay, of a fixed size. So the size is very simple. You ask yourself, how many elements am I going to store? Now for what I'm doing here, I'm planning of storing a list of just 3 cars. So if it's just 3 cars you want to store, you put 3 here. You add your equal to sign and then a curly bracket like that. So this is how to create an array. Now within the curly bracket, I'll start adding some cars. So the first car will be Benz. The next one, let's make it Opel. And then we can have Audi as the last car. Now if you count the number of items we have, it's just 3, right? 1, 2, 3. That is what we have here. So the whole thing here is what we call an array. It's one of the data types, but this one is for storing collection. Number 1, you need a data type because this one is string. That is why in the element it's all strings here. Let me try to do a build and see if we have any error. You can see there's no error. I will change the Opel and then I make it 45. If I build, you can see the red indicator shown. String is used here. It's trying to tell you that this one can store only string. If it is not string, don't even venture. Now that it's back to Opel, let's see. The error is away. Okay. So that is about about an array. Now whenever you create an array, let me see if I can just create show you some small diagram. So it's not enough, but I hope you will manage. So let's say when you create an array, this is how it's going to look like. Can I change this one? Okay, this is not bad. So when you create an array like what we did, this is how the array is going to be. So it will create some box like this. If you look at what we did, you can see the size is what? 3. So because the size is 3, It's also going to create some box and then allocate slot, that is 3 slots. So for the first one, Benz, Opel, and then Audi, this is how it's going to be. Let's say this box will represent the Benz. I think I'm having some difficulties doing it. Benz, this is going to be Opel. Let me just use OP. And then we can have the Audi somewhere here. Audi. So let me just do something like this. Now you can see all the 3 slots, they are having their element. Okay. And by the way, what you can see here, we call them element of the array. The individual items, they are the element of the what? The car list array. And so we have the Benz, the Opel, and then what? The Audi. Whenever you create an array, this is how it's going to be like. Since the size is 3, there's going to be a box, and then it will be divided into 3. The first element that comes, Benz, will be in the first box. The next one, Opel, is going to be what? In that order. Now the question is, what if maybe in the near future we want to change the Opel to something different? I know what comes in mind is maybe update it manually here and then make it clear. But this is not so in most of the cases or in all instances. Sometimes it can happen that your arrays are coming from the database, so you will not have the access of directly changing an element here to reflect what is in the database. Okay. So to maybe update just the first element, or maybe to access the last one, we can't use the cout and then put the car list there like this. Now if you do this and then you run the program, you will get what you don't expect. That is, this one we call it the memory address. The location of the variable in memory is assigned a unique address, and this is it. It's in hexadecimals. This is not what you are looking for. I want to access just the Benz. Okay. Now one thing about the arrays is whenever it's created, automatically the element will be given a unique index. Okay. They will be given a unique index. So this is how the unique index goes. The first element will have an index of 0, next one index of 1, and then 2 in that order. So if we were to have another element, the index will keep incrementing. So from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 in that order. One thing I want you to understand is for the indexes of the element, they start from 0. The indexes, they start from 0. So over here, that means the Benz is having an index of what? 0, 1, and then what? 2. So if it's in my mind to have access or to access just the Benz or the first element from the array, what I'll need to do is, I don't need to just put the car list there, but I will add a square bracket. And then in the square bracket, I specify the index of it. So it's like now they are having an IDs, and IDs are always unique. So if you call the name of the array and then you specify the index, it will just go inside and then pick that particular element. So now let me put 0 here, and then we run the program. So running it, you can see we have Benz displayed. Okay. So this is how we can be able to access the element. If I change it from 1 and then I make it 2, so 0, 1, and then what? 2. That is going to be Audi. We run the program and you can see Audi is now available. Okay. Let me quickly show you something here. You can see it says what? Process return 0. Now in programming, whenever your program return a value of 0, it means it ended successfully. Okay. That is a successful end. There wasn't any error, nothing broke it. Okay. So that is it. Now make sure always you will specify an index that exists. You don't want to do something like this. We don't have any element 56. So if you try to put down 56 there, you can see it has delayed. Okay, let's wait to see. Now the process return, you see the value is not 0 here, negative and some random values. This one is not what we expect. So each time you see your program return a value that is not equal to 0, then it means there's an error or an error took place. If we change it to 2, we run the program, it will display the element and then the process return what? 0, like that. Not only in C++, other languages too as well. So that is about array. Now let's see if we can add more. I can also, let's say now I don't want the OD to be there, but I want a different element. We are changing, we've taken OD out. Let's say we now have a new car, we sold the OD and then we bought a new car, and we want to update the OD. As I told you this one, that you see, it's not always that you can manually come here and then change it from this side. Most of the time when working with applications, database record they come in the form of an array. Okay, so that one you can't simply change it in your code. You have to find a way of performing the update. So OD, what we can do is, if I want to update it, I call the car list, and then in the square bracket I specify the index of the OD, which is I think 2. Then I will equate it to what? To Utah. Now doing this, it means I'm going into the array at the particular index and I'm setting it to a new value. You don't need to add any data type here because already the car list is created. No need to create it again. When we run the program, this one, instead of giving us OD, it has given us what? Toyota. Okay, now let me give you one test. I'll also do another one here. The same car list of index 2. I want to make it, which other car? Let me just, make it car 99 as the new car. When I run the program, pause the video and then think about it. What am I going to see on the console screen if I run this program? So you can pause it and then think about this. Okay, so let's look at what we can get. When we run it, it's still going to be Toyota. Okay, this is the latest update though, but you can see over here, after changing it to Toyota, the next thing was what? A command to display. And then after the command to display, the car was updated. Code I read from top to bottom. So at the time of displaying, the latest update was Toyota. It was after the displaying, that was when the car list was updated again. So displaying what will give you Toyota. Okay, so that is about array. Let me go ahead and then display all the elements of the array. So car list of 0, cout of 1. Now when we build and run the program, you can see all the elements of the array will be displayed on the screen. Benz, Kia, and then Toyota. Okay, so that's because we are giving the command to what? Display them. Now finally, before I wrap up, I can easily change this one from being 3 to 4. And if I change it to 4, what do you think will happen? In memory, another box will be created like this. Another box will be created like this. Okay, and then the index will be given to it to be what? 3. But of course, if you check what we have, how many? 1, 2, 3. So the 4th element is not allowed. Each time you change the number here, the representation, the box representation in memory was what? Will change. If you increase it, more will be added. If you decrease it, it's also going to be decreased. So we now have 4 elements. Now if I do cout and then car list of 3, because I hope you know that the index of the last element is what? 0, 1, 2 is 3, right? So when we run it, you will see that nothing will be shown. So we have the Benz, the Kia, and then the Toyota. But you can see there's a space here, but that space is blank because the 4th element doesn't have any value. Now, how can we manually do that? So I want you to pause the video and then try how manually you can be able to insert an element at the 3rd index, this particular side. So pause the video and then try your hands on. After you are done, you can resume the video to continue. Okay, so to do that is very simple. We can come down here, up here, car list of index 3, and then equate it to a new value. Let me just make it, DAO is 1 car, I know. So this one, when we run it, you can see that we have updated it, and then DAO is now part of the list. Okay, so simply this is about an array. It's a collection for storing more than a value. So it's for storing collection basically. And when coming to create an array, you need to think about the data type of the element. Since the data type of the element we want to store is string, you can see we have string here. Okay, now if it's numbers you want to store, definitely this is how it's going to be. Int, let's say age list. Okay, it's not compulsory to always call it age list. You can use any descriptive name. So age list is equal to 3. Then we can say that we have 5, 2, 99, 18, like this. So that is it. This is also another array storing integers. When I build a program, you can see there's no error. But if I change the 2 and then I make it Francis, if I run it, there's going to be the red indicator. Since this side is int, it expects that all the element will be what? Will be integer. And one last thing before we close. Let's say we have 2 here. This is 2, right? But then the 2 is in a double quote. For the computer, it doesn't really check what you have as content. If it sees the double quote, the computer would think that this one is what? It's a string. Anything wrapped around double quote in programming is a string. So if I run the program now, it's not going to accept it because of the double quote. So let's take the double quote away, build the program, and you can see the red indicator is what? Is gone. So this is about array. You can create an array without a specific data type and also what? The size. So that is why it says a collection of data of a fixed size and a specific data type. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout. I want to specially invite you to a platform I'm about to create. I think very soon I'll have to it's not yet ready now. Let me disclose that later on, but kindly subscribe if you haven't. Try to give me your like and then your comment. This is the only source of motivation we're having. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next lecture. Bye bye.